Yo, it's your homeboy Kyosagi in the building. Welcome to episode 26 of my One Piece discussion series. This episode gives you my personal theory on why Blackbeard is a Logia and not a Paramecia, and what this might mean for Blackbeard as a character. We've seen Paramecia like Magellan, whatever you want to call him, as well as Mr. 3, the wax guy, who are both considered Paramecia because you can hit either of them without using Haki. Blackbeard is no different in that sense. So, two questions. Number one, why is the Yami Yami no Mi, the darkness fruit, which came after Mr. Three's fruit, the wax fruit, considered a Logia and not a Paramecia? Number two, why does Oda think it is so important that this specific fruit is a Logia? It is very similar to Magellan's fruit, very similar to Mr. Three's fruit in terms of how it operates, even though all three are sort of elemental, but they all operate in a very similar way. So why does Oda think it is so important to make this specific route a Logia instead of letting it slide as a Paramecia like the other two? So my theory for question one, which is why is the Yami Yami considered a Logia, goes like this. Remember in Alabasta, Crocodile said that no one could beat him in the desert. Now what I got from this is that the sand provided by the desert would give him some advantage. And I'm not talking about, camouflage or something silly like that, but just a general advantage in terms of power and strength, since he was a Logia user of the same type as his environment. That said, Paramecia like Luffy will not receive any difference in strength in the presence of the elements that that goes with them, assuming they're sort of elemental. For example, if Luffy's in the presence of rubber, he's not going to get stronger, he's not going to get weaker. If Mr. 3 is in the presence of wax, he will not get stronger, he will not get weaker, etc., etc. Think of this sort of like Superman, when he gets a strength bonus from the sun. Now, depending on how bright it's shining, or whether it's blocked on, or there's an eclipse, that kind of thing, his power level can go up, can go down, that kind of thing. So, all that said, maybe Blackbeard used the dark cloth at Marineford to immerse himself in darkness, therefore taking his powers to the next level, like how Crocodile can become stronger if he's surrounded by sand in a desert. Likewise, if Blackbeard is in a dark environment, maybe he becomes stronger as well. And he needed the cloth because naturally, just without using the cloth, he might not be strong enough to absorb devil fruit powers or devil fruit from Whitebeard. Assuming all this is true, everything I've said so far, maybe that would explain how Akainu survived at Marineford. Remember, Akainu fell into this big fissure, this big crevice or whatever, when Whitebeard pounded his head into the floor and stuff. So maybe Akainu fell so deep that he actually fell into lava or the earth's core. Okay, the earth's core is a bit much, but maybe lava at least. He fell into some type of lava, and since he's surrounded in lava, his strength gets a bonus, and this aided his recovery. Now, this might sound very far-fetched in terms of him going all the way to reach, where lava is, but let me ask you this question. If Chen Jiao can split ice continents, what can the strongest man in the world, possessing the single most destructive devil fruit and having an added boost of his emotions, do? That's my question. In any case, I've explained why the Yami Yami is a Logia. It is because it gets a bonus when it's surrounded by the same elements of the fruit. And now we move to question two. Why does Oda think it is so important that this specific fruit is a Logia? It basically boils down to this theory I heard a long time ago about, Blackbeard being a cerebrus, and that's why his flag is, has three heads. I'm not too comfortable with this theory, but assuming it is true, this would explain the whole, three. This would explain why Oda wanted that to be a Logia. So it is one Logia, one Paramecia, instead of being Paramecia. So Oda wants Blackbeard to have one of each type. So this would be Logia, Paramecia, and the Zoan would be the Cerebrus fruit itself. Now I think that the three-headed thing, it might be Cerebrus related, but I don't think it's a Cerebrus fruit. And FYI, Cerebrus refers to as a three-headed dog from Greek mythology. This might not be where it's from, but that's where the theory comes from, and I'm just rolling with it so far. But assuming the theory is bogus, maybe the three heads simply comes from his family lineage. Maybe people in his family have always had this ability to have three devil fruits. And why three? Now, three because anything more. In fact, Blackbeard is pretty OP as he is right now. I mean, he's not unbeatable, but he's pretty OP. If he has a third fruit, he's gonna be really OP. But thank goodness, if you follow this theory that he needs to have one of each type, then the third type is Zoan. And Zoan, it isn't that bad for the most part. I mean, you do have the mythical Zoans, but by the grace of God, he's not gonna get a mythical Zoan, because if he does, oh my goodness, man. Just imagine Blackbeard with the Marco fruit. How you gonna beat him? You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he doesn't get a mythical Zoan, but if he does get a third fruit, I would like it to be a Zoan. I don't really like Zone as fruits, but it's so weak as in comparison to Paramecia and Logia that Oda can give Blackbeard a third fruit without him being excessively OP to the point where he's unbeatable. And you might think, oh, everybody's beatable. Nope, not everyone's beatable. Imagine if Blackbeard had for his 3 fruits, or in fact, just imagine if Blackbeard had these fruits. Imagine if he had Kizaru's fruit and Kuma's fruit at the same time. Just those two alone, he's unbeatable. He can deflect anything, moving at the speed of light. That's what are you gonna do? I just think there needs to be balance, and let's assume that the cerebrus thing is wrong. Then in that case, we can still go with the 3 fruit thing, but instead it'll have something to do with his family tree. One theory I heard about the third fruit he's gonna get, following this 3 fruit thing, but not necessarily cerebrus or the family thing, but just the 3 fruit thing. One I heard was from Anime Super Dude, who was having a conversation with Manga Blizzard, and they were saying that they might get Blackbeard might get Kaido's fruit. Now this is I think, again, this might sort of defeat the point I was saying, where Blackbeard's third fruits can be too strong, but we don't know what Kaido's fruit is, so he could definitely get it. Depends on how weak Kaido's fruit is. I mean, Kaido as a person might already be very strong, or Kaido might be similar. Maybe he can have more than one devil fruit, because people like calling him a creature, and maybe it's because he has several devil fruits or whatever. But we'll see when we see. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, and yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about why Oda wanted Blackbeard's fruit to be a Logia. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out my other videos, and if you like my videos in general, don't forget to subscribe so you know when my next one is coming out. And as usual, thank you